Hello and welcome to the Wendell Effect for the Indian markets. Today is the 8th of January, 2023. Happy New Year as well. I'll go ahead and go over my view of these financial markets for the National Stock Exchange and the Bombay Stock Exchange. Just before we do that, I need to remind you we're not broker dealers or investment advisors. Take a look at the information from an educational standpoint only, not telling you to buy, sell, or hold any particular securities. Again, many personalized recommendations. Past performance is no indication of future results, and we are not subject to trading restrictions, so you can have position and security initiate one at any time. If you want to stay in touch with me, please do. You can catch me at brandonwendell.cmt@gmail.com for my email. You can hit me up on Twitter at TraderBdub. And of course, you can find us here on YouTube at The Wendell Effect. So, jumping right into it, last month was pretty bearish for the whole market. You can see lots and lots of red with a few outstanding greens, Axis Bank, ONGC, Tata Steel, and so on. So, we'll see if that's going to be able to continue or not. Last week still was a little bearish, but not nearly as bad. So the selling pressure came in earlier in the past 30 days, end of December, more so than it did beginning of January. Looking at the Nifty on the daily chart, you can see, though, there is that move to the downside that happened a few weeks ago. It's pretty significant. And that's not surprising. We had broken out of this downward move that we were in. We did this before. We had a breakout here, pulled back, and they made new highs. We're doing the same pattern. We're breaking out, pulling back. We'll just have to wait and see if we can make new highs. So momentum is still strong. There's no bearish momentum to speak of. Looking at the Nifty daily chart, you can see there is a little bit of bearishness that might be coming in. So we had a little bit of retracement, and part of the problem that we have is when we rallied here, we couldn't seem to get the RSI up above 60. And that's a bearish signal. That's a very strong bearish signal when that happens. You should have good bullish momentum and a strong bullish trend. If it's dying off, that's not a good trend. So taking a little bit deeper of a look on the 4-hour time frame, you can see we've already pulled back a little bit. And don't chase. You might have to wait for another pullback before you get short, but do not chase this now. But keep in mind, there's really nothing to hold us up except for the projections. I do not see a strong demand zone to hold the price up at all. There's no real follow through there. So this could be a little bumpy and a bit of a ride to the downside, which is surprising. Again, I thought it was on the weekly chart, it's just going to be a breakout, a little pullback and then go. But the daily and smaller time frames are telling a completely different story. And one of the leaders here is Reliance Industry. Reliance is actually bullish this week. Now for the next 2 weeks, really. January 8th until the 19th of January, 73% of the time, Reliance went up, about 1.68% annual return. So looking at the chart, we do actually have on Reliance a little bit of demand here. I forget what the weekly chart looked like, so let me jump into that real quick. There it is, Reliance Industries, and going from the daily to the weekly, really it's sideways chop. No real trend, is there? And we're kind of middle to lower range. So those smaller time frame trends could actually come into play and push us around a little bit where I was saying, yeah, that's normally very, very bullish. We're coming down towards the demand here, 2468 to 2433. We might get a little bounce. And not necessarily going to take out highs, but it could give you a bounce from 2468 back up to 27 if you're interested. Oops. Is that the only one I had? Yes, it was. TCS is bullish as well. Remember, the Reliance was 73% over the last 15 years it went up. TCS, Tata Consultancy, same measurements, 15 years. It went up 60% of the time, so not quite as good. Also, not a very good return here, 0.02%. So don't expect a lot of help out of this tech side. Well, TCS, yeah, it's kind of tech. Anyway, you can see that it's actually projecting and dropping very quickly to the downside. So we had impulse down, correction up, impulse down. We might get a small bounce here because we are at our first target, 61.8%. But that may just be another reason to get in short. You might be able to go to an even smaller time frame. This is a 4-hour, but if we went TCS to a 60 minute, might be able to find a better entry there. Let's take a look. Now, 60-minute time frame, nope, nothing really there, unless you consider this rally-based drop, but that's really close delete this. And I have it here on the daily. I'm sorry, that's 240. Yeah, it's real close to coming back all the way to the beginning here for that move, but I'm not sure if that's going to be able to work. But that would be a possible shorting opportunity. I was hoping there'd be something a little bit lower, but there really isn't. Maybe this overlap, a wick over wick. Try 30-minute. Yeah, nothing there. I'm not going to force it. So moving along here, we do also have Infosys with 73% of the time bullish, and it's a pretty good bull in this case, 3.25% roughly to the upside. So this may be a nice little run upwards. You can see that Infosys on the 4-hour chart has been diving though. So a little bit of weakness coming in. And the problem is that we had the RSI below 60. Again, we normally go up 73% of the time during this time of year, but it looks like it might want to go the opposite direction. Just because the seasonal is out there doesn't mean it always follows that pattern. So again, let me go into Infosys here. And we'll go bigger at 240. You can see we went sideways. We broke down from the sideways trend, just retraced a little bit. And on the right one. This doesn't look quite right here. Infosys. Hang on a second, but did I do the wrong one? NSC, no, that's right. So for some reason my chart doesn't look quite right. But anyway, this one's fine. I'm not looking to buy it. Even though seasonally it normally goes to the upside, it actually looks like it may be bearish and looking to break down instead of up. We also have earnings coming out, so be careful. But there is rally-based drop at the top, and even drop-based drop possibly along the way. HDFC Bank is just caught sideways. This is not going to help out the Nifty at all unless, because we're near the bottom of the range, we actually bounce and go to the top of the range as well. It does look like there's a little bit of buying pressure creeping in here on the daily chart. Do just that. We also did hold above 40, so we might see a little bit of a play back up to the sideways channel. That can give you some good opportunities, even on options, if you know how to do iron condors around that space. Getting into the Bank Nifty, we can see we're going a little bit sideways after a rally, and usually that means just a pause before continuation of the move. We lost a lot of momentum, though. It's the one thing that scares me about longs here, but it does look like we came into a little bit of demand in this area and are bouncing off the 38.2% retracement, looking at tag 45,750 and then eventually 48,334. Dropping down to the daily time frame, only 40% winning trades if you play to the upside. This is actually somewhat bearish time of year for the Bank Nifty with the average return of negative 1.36. So going back to that weekly chart, not seeing anything here. Maybe there's something on the daily telling us we're likely to drop. Well, maybe, yeah. You see high, lower high, and with that lower high, we could not get above 60. So that's, looking at different time frames, you get more information. This is showing me a bearish security that's likely to continue dropping. So just keep an eye out for it. I don't really have a good entry as far as supply. Maybe get something on a smaller time frame. Go down there. Bank Nifty. There we go. And I'm on the 4-hour time frame, which I don't think we got to that one yet. We're still looking at the daily, but fine tuning this on the 4-hour time frame, you can see drop, base, and drop. Now I wouldn't necessarily use the lower one because it's real close to the end of the move, but the first one is March 42,858 looks really good for where we're likely to start turning to the downside. And let's take a look, see, do we have anything to hold us up? Not really until 39,118. Now, if somebody were aggressive, I really wouldn't use this, but this almost looks like a little pocket of buying pressure with the gap up there. Personally, I'm not impressed by that. So I'm waiting for the 39,118, and that should be your downside target as prices may rally a little bit before they drop again. So 4-hour chart, just what I just showed you, basically the live one. And again, the key thing was when we rallied up, we couldn't get above 60. And you see the result. We dropped and almost made a new low. We broke that prior low. That's the wrong button, sorry. Anyway, that's what I got for you guys this week. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. I really appreciate it. That way you can be notified when new videos do come out every week. You can also stay in touch with me. Email me at brandonwendell.cmt@gmail.com, and you can hit me up on Twitter as well, @TraderBdub. So until next time, everyone, trade safe, trade well. Take care.